Right guys, welcome to our lecture number 3, Install Laravel. So I hope you're fine. What we are going to see today is how to install Laravel, add it to path, launch a basic app, create a new database, and of course connect to that database. So let's start with the Laravel website. Okay, here it is. Let's go to documentation, and we are working with version 5.8, as you can see here. So we have a few server requirements which should be fulfilled with XAMPP installation, and of course it uses Composer, which we installed on the last video, and we are going to install Laravel with Composer. So I'm going to open up a terminal. Let's resize this. Great. Now I'm going to type Composer global require Laravel/installer. Okay, so now this is going to install and download. Actually, it's the other way around. It's going to download and install every single package that Laravel needs to run. So after this installs, we are going to create a path variable for Composer. So in this way we can create a new website, and we have to create a new environment variable with this data of this directory. Okay, we're going to see that in a few minutes. Let's wait for the installation to finish. Great, we're done. So now we're going to Control Panel, System, Advanced System Settings, and here we have Environment Variables. So here you will see a path here and a path here. So make sure you use the System Variables and click in Edit button. Now we're going to add a new environment variable. As we can see on the page, we should put C users Edonix, which is my user, app data, roaming, composer, vendor, bin. We hit enter and OK. OK. Let's close this, and now we can create a new Laravel application. We should try with Laravel new blog, for example. Let's see, we are in C users Edonix. I'm going to create a new directory for my websites or developments. So I'm going to type mkdir and, for example, Laravel projects. And let's see. Oh, we have a Laravel folder because I didn't use the double quotes. So let's do something. Yep. Let's type clear and just type mkdir development. And now we can enter that directory. So I'm going to type Laravel new blog. And this is going to craft a new Laravel application. As this is the first time we are crafting a new application, it's downloading everything it needs. You can see the different packages that are being downloaded and installed. But for the next time, this is not going to happen. Actually, Laravel is going to load these dependencies from cache. This means from your local machine. So in this way, you don't need an actual internet connection every time you need to create a new Laravel application. Plus, it's a lot faster if this installs from your machine instead of the internet. So we can check the first item we have added to the path. And now we are going to launch the new application. So we are going to wait for this to finish. And as we are developing in a local environment, we are going to use a PHP artisan serve command. PHP is the PHP engine from XAMPP, and artisan is a file located in every Laravel application directory, and we are going to use this to run our application. This is not the only method to run a Laravel application. I'm going to show you another way to run a Laravel application with the XAMPP directory, so don't worry about it. And as we wait for this to finish, I want to tell you that I'm going to make mistakes on these videos, and it is intended to show which errors could show up while developing a web application with Laravel. So pay attention to the errors. I'm going to show you how to search for a solution and to actually solve the errors. I think that we are all human beings, and making mistakes is something natural and a normal and a common thing to do. And if you don't make a mistake, then I think that you don't learn. So take this as a positive thing. I'm going to make mistakes. It takes time and effort to look for a solution. Almost everything is asked and answered on the web. We are going to use maybe Stack Overflow, which is a developers forum, and we have a lot of questions answered there. When you are developing, prepare yourself to make a lot of mistakes and spend time looking for a solution, or more than one solution. Great, so it's time to serve our application. I'm going to enter the application directory, which is blog, if you remember. And now we can type PHP artisan serve. That's where we have the artisan file. So this development started at this direction, which is localhost. We're going to type localhost :8000, and we should see the Laravel front end. Great, so we managed to launch our app. Now it's time to create a new database. So for this, we are going to localhost /phpMyAdmin. I'm going to create a new database. I'm going to name it blog, and here we have our database. I'm going to create a new table called posts, for example, with 2 columns. Sorry, 3. The first one should be the ID. This is going to be an auto increment column, as this is the primary key. Then we'll have, for example, the post title. This is going to be a bar chart with 50 characters length, and then we'll have the post content, which will be a text field. So here we have our table structure. I'm going to insert a new post, a test post, with a test title and a test content. And now we have to connect to our database. So I'm going to, we can check this out. And we have one thing left, which is connect to the database. I'm going to open our text editor, and we should look for our folder, which in my case is located in C drive, users, Eduonics, development, blog. So I'm going to open this folder, and here we have our Laravel project. Now let's see the .env file, which allows us to define some parameters to our application. For example, the application name, the application environment, local or production, a key, which is used by Laravel. We are in a debug environment, and the app URL. For the database, we have our connection, which is MySQL, our host, which is localhost or 127.0.0.1. The port should be for MySQL 3306. And our database name is blog, and it should run with username root and a blank password. Great, so let's try out our application. We're going to the web file, which holds our application routes, and you can see that the home route returns a view named welcome. So a view actually holds HTML code, which is rendered by the browser, as you can see on the right side of the screen. So let's retrieve our posts. Let's say posts equals db table posts, and we are going to call the get method. Now we have to send these posts to our view, and that is done with the with directive, and the first parameter would accept the name of the variable, which does not have to be the same as our local variable, but in this case I will put posts as well, and the second parameter is the actual variable. Now, what is this DB thing? Let's look for Laravel DB facade. A facade, as the word says, is something that it will make things easier for us. For example, take a look at this. We are including or using a directory like Illuminate Super Facades DB. So if we are including this directive in our code, this means that we can call DB instead of Illuminate Super Facades DB. So it's meant to get things easier for us. So we should look for our views in Resources, Views. This is pretty simple. And here we have our HTML that we see here. Okay? I'm going to erase the content, so it is a blank page. Okay, we have an error here. Unknown database Laravel. Okay, let's see. We have our database named blog. So what we have to do is clear the application's cache. I'll show you how. Let's open the command and terminate the process with Ctrl+C, and we need to call php artisan config :cache. So in that way we clear the cache and we can serve the application again, and this should update the configuration. So now we have our blank page. Great. So the way to show the posts is with double curly braces, and without a format we are seeing it as a JSON. Now I'm going to add another post so you can see that is retrieving the data from the database. Second post, and second post content. Let's save this. Now we have our two posts, and let's refresh this page. So in this way you can see that it is actually retrieving all the database posts. So let's check this out, and this is it, guys. Now we have installed Laravel and launched our very first application. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you in the next video where we are going to create a basic Laravel website.